Hey everybody, welcome to the Lutheran Worship Podcast presented by the Center for Worship Leadership at Concordia University, Irvine. I am joined as always by my astute, intelligent, bright co-host Steve Zank, who's the director of the Center for Worship Leadership and the DPM program at Concordia, Irvine. Hey Steve, I want to get to know you today, okay? And I think a lot of folks want to get to know you. They want to get to know me.
Yeah.
I think we want to let people know about the Center for Worship Leadership. Before we do that, though, I want to ask you: Do you ever been to a service or been a part of a parish where, somewhere in the service there's kind of a get to know your neighbor kind of a break?
Man. Yes.
Any fun stories
absolutely.
on
that? Sometimes it's kind of really fun. Like you get to see people that you know, or like pass the peace and say peace to the Lord. There's one mentor I have who's always doesn't really do hugs, so he's always like fist of peace. He gives a little fist bump.
Right.
And then I've been a lot of experiences like that. There was one that I thought was really interesting. As part of my teaching some worship classes, we go to different churches, different traditions of theology traditions, and there's one that I would take students to that's more of a Pentecostal style church service.
Sure.
And there would be a 15-minute break in the middle of the service to drink fancy coffee. And you go to the back, there's a big table, and like they have those like beakers and like measurements down to the smallest, integer. And they're there's it's like a crazy mad scientist set up where like there's a valve and the coffee like goes down a glass slide into your cup.
Wow.
And you're
just
hanging out for 15 minutes with other people before the service continues. I think it's right before the sermon for them. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do this, passing the peace. Lutheran tradition, I love the idea of it being tied to reconciliation before the Lord's Supper. It's a cool thing.
Maybe that comes from the old days of after the service of the word, you would dismiss those folks that could not commune, right? Maybe it's kind of like there was always that nice little break.
They would do the kiss of peace, Kip.
Oh, okay, interesting.
They would do the kiss of peace back then.
Wow. Okay.
It's a cultural expression.
Personally, some of my favorite experiences are, when churches are really trying to be very hospitable, and they ask if anybody is new to church on Sunday, and if so, if they could stand up and introduce themselves, which I think in some contexts, might work, but I think, it can get rough, but all in an attempt to get to know one another, right? And that's what we're doing today, Steve.
Yeah. Well, Kip and I know each other from we've been friends for I think
19 years.
Is that right? So
and 2 weeks.
How many days? But it's good for us to share with you. We get this asked a lot, what the Center for Worship Leadership is, what it does. And over the years, we've done so many new initiatives that it's good for us to have a chance just to share with you what the Center for Worship Leadership is doing and how you might get involved with the resources we produce and get to know us a little bit. And Kip, I found a way through the back door here to talk about a synodical resolution. So
your favorite thing.
If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen. If you're on YouTube joining us there, you could follow the actual video of a presentation of this resolution from the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod and Convention from 2007. If you're on audio with us, you can just listen along. We'll read it. This is the reason why I'm sneaking this resolution into our conversation, Kip, is actually a lot of the initiatives we do at the Center for Worship Leadership really are in response to this resolution from 2007, passed at the convention, Lutheran Church Missouri Synod Convention. So if you're not a member of Lutheran Church Missouri Synod or a Lutheran and are wondering if this episode's still for you, it is. Yes, you can still get to know us. We're just using this as a springboard. So let's get started about this resolution. And in our conversation, you'll get to know us a little bit. So the topic is to provide guidance and direction for use of diverse/contemporary worship resources, Resolution 202A. And then, as always, Kip, there's some whereases and some resolved. And the whereases are very telling. I'm saying it to you, Kip, but obviously it's mainly for our listeners to hear about this. You know those whereases and resolves. So, but they're telling. So the first one is, LCMS congregations are regularly making use of contemporary worship songs to the glory of God and the edification of his people. So it starts off by saying there are churches in the LCMS using regularly contemporary worship songs and they're doing this to the glory of God and edification of his people. So the resolution is really lifting up that as the songs are being used well, and it's a form that we're not going to kibosh, but recognize that God is using it in certain contexts. The second then is to recognize that there's a need for this contemporary style of music to come from a Lutheran place, to reflect Lutheran theological emphases, liturgical emphases. It names some of these. It's justification by grace through faith in Christ, holy baptism, Lord's Supper, our sacramental theology as Lutherans, the church year, things that we find important as Lutherans. So it's recognizing there's a need for us to produce it from our theological foundation. Secondly, then, it notices there's people doing it. There are pastors, teachers, directors of Christian education, musicians who are doing this work. But there exists in the LCMS no means of gathering, reviewing, and disseminating songs and resources that might be shared with the church at large and so enhance the worship life of congregations throughout the LCMS. And then finally, it recognizes that this resolution in 07 is a response to a resolution in the prior convention in 2004, which directed the Commission on Worship to initiate a process leading toward the development of diverse worship resources. Kip, any comments on all those whereases and describing the state of matters in 2007?
Yeah, no, I love that. Again, yeah, like you just said, this is 2007 we're talking about, and I love the 2004 resolution to initiate a process, and we speak about all the things we do, many of them as initiatives.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm not a language scholar, but I'm pretty sure those two words have a lot in common. So I'm just excited that we've responded to that call to initiate, and we are initiating with our initiatives. So let's talk about them.
Let's get into it. So there's 6 recommendations a part of this resolution, and many of them are directly tied to what we're doing at the Center for Worship Leadership. And so we're going to get to know us a little bit. We're going to share about some of the things that we're doing and some of the resources we're going to point you to. The first recommendation of this resolution is to develop a publication or web distribution of a quarterly magazine or resource package that would include articles dealing with worship planning, modeling, reviewing of new songs, utilization of new media technology, and teaching new music. This one was I think before podcasts became popular, because I think that's a lot of ways that's what we're doing here, Kip, in the Lutheran Worship Podcast, is being a place where we can actually talk about worship in this diverse tradition that we have, and to help people who listen engage in all these kinds of things, thinking about it, thinking it through clearly, and exploring the concepts.
Yeah, and I would add, as a center, you know, we have, you know, thousands of emails of folks involved with the center, and we, not only on a quarterly basis, but weekly, are sending out resources and on all these kind of topics too.
Yep.
We certainly are answering the call on recommendation 1, I think.
You know, and of course we have our, I want to call it Kolb's Corner, but it's not a good branding decision. But Robert Kolb writes, he's a Reformation scholar, writes a blog for us for all of our songs that come out. And so you could read Bob Kolb's discussion of all the songs that we produce on our website. That's kind of a fun little thing we do. Number 2?
Recommendation 2, let's do it.
To offer worship arts and music seminars or conferences to inform and educate the church, which consider and build on the diversity of worship styles extant across the synod. Extant's a fancy word, as you guys know, or that's already present. It's happening. So, you know, Kip and I are both there when our mutual mentor, John Jordaning, started this out. Kip, want to talk about that a little bit, about what that is?
Yeah, sure. Really around this, right around this time of this 07 resolution we're talking about, John started what is the Wally Summit, and really an event, a gathering space for worship leaders and music directors of diverse styles and contemporary modern expressions to get together, to learn from one another in our practice, and also to hear from folks in the, you know, scholars in the field of theology, and to hear from practitioners in the field of modern music, in modern leadership, all those things. And so that Wally Summit has been going on now for almost 20 years.
Amazing. Yeah, 3-day conference is its current iteration, and one of our big taglines is, "One divine service, many expressions." So you come to a Wally Summit, a 3-day conference, pardon me, you'll find, organ and choirs and a modern band, and sometimes we've had diverse artistic styles like a marimba and a spoken
Hmm.
word. It's just a celebration of the arts, and all the ways that it can serve congregational life. We have we developed now we're really excited about is a track for preachers at our summit. So
Hmm.
if you're a preacher, there's going to be seminary level educators on preaching. You can get together for breakout session to discuss preaching. And the reason why we've included all these things is that our hope or invitation really is for pastors and to bring their whole team to Wally. Anyone in your church who's involved in
Hmm.
worship planning and the arts and those kinds of things, we have something for you at the Wally Summit. So you all come together for plenaries, then you break out into sectionals for your specific area. Tech arts, church music, modern music, uh,
Team
pastoral,
leadership,
yeah,
pastoral
team
care,
leadership,
all
all
those
sorts of
things.
things. Thanks, Kip. So we want to invite you into that, and it's a really fun experience, and it's a great conference. It's a fun time, not just to see good speakers and to learn things, but to be in community with people who really support each other, and it's a great time.
Yeah, that's right. And we have a different host church every year.
Yeah.
And this year, 2026, if you're listening, September 15th to 17th, 2026, Concordia Kirkwood in Missouri, St. Louis,
Yeah,
Missouri.
St. Louis. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a blast. WallySummit.com. That's the conference we put together. That's tied to this recommendation, number 2. Should we go to number 3, Kip?
Yeah.
This one's interesting. So it's develop a regularly updated web-based list of appropriate and accessible resources that are easily and readily available to pastors and music leaders. Include an exchange listing of available worship leadership positions as well as names of musicians and others skilled in worship arts who are interested in such positions. So there's 2 things here. One is this web-based list of resources, and another is this kind of staffing side, people who do the work. We've do a lot of informal connections for people. We don't run a list of workers in this way, but we have gone full in on a web-based resource. We've produced something called Weave. It's at weaveworship.com. We're really excited about it. It's this amazing tool, this dynamic tool that does evaluation of your services. If you have Planning Center, it integrates with your Planning Center account and knows what songs you've been planning and can actually make suggestions about your diet of songs and gives you insights about your diet and what it's like. You can find songs on it, like a resource page. You can search by time of the church year, by placement of the service, by themes. There's a whole system of polarities we developed. I won't go into it at this time. You can learn about it when you go to weworship.com. And it integrates with Planning Center. Like we said, you can send stuff to Planning Center. You can discover service templates. It's a really amazing site. And we do a lot of doctrinal review of resources and give you theological insights on songs. And anyway, that's called a Weave again, called Weave, weaveworship.com. We're excited about that initiative. We didn't get the initiative word into it, but it's still one of our initiatives.
It sure is. And I got to tell you, if you're listening to this right now, it is out. Okay. This is probably coming out in February, late February, but from now on, Weave is here. And if you haven't heard about it already, it blows me away. It's incredible the work that Steve and his team did to make this happen. The amount of resources, the amount of song, I mean, just the massive database, the recommendations, the liturgical resources that have been created and curated to go with this huge database of songs. And again, all the things Steve talked about with the integration of Planning Center, just all these, it's unbelievable. So I'm blown away. Okay. And I'm not easily impressed. I got to be honest with you. And I just cannot believe how cool this resource is and just amazing. So
And
props
to Matt Preston and Chris Matthews for executing it and for putting it all together.
For sure.
They're a great team who've done a lot of good work. And there's a lot of people in the LCMS who are writing content that's reviewed. It's a really strong group effort. So yeah, thanks, Kip. And that's a lot of what's going on in later initiatives as we'll see, shows
That's
up
right.
on Weave. So we're looking forward to keep going.
That's recommendation number 3. Check it off.
Number 4 is directed to seminaries of Synod and developing their curriculum. And so we're skipping that one because it's not really related to our ministry. Number 5, basically, it's the idea of establishing at least one of the schools in the Concordia University system as a site for worship arts degree program. And the course of studies of this would include music instruction and worship direction in a full range of styles, use of media in worship, dramatic and theater arts, extensive training in contemporary, as well as traditional music. And the idea is the completion of this program would lead to a music degree and to rostered status in the LCMS as a director of parish music. Rostered status just means it's a very official way of saying you're part of the synod. You're dedicated to what it means to be a Lutheran according to Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, and you're doing work in the church in that way. And so I guess we can say just kind of proudly here at Concordia University, Irvine is one of the places that have done this. So if you are looking to be trained as a director of parish music to serve the church as a musician, that we have a program where you can do a traditional path and learn all the traditional instruments, or you could also do a path that's mixed, that you can come and you could learn more modern instrumentation, understand how to lead a band and how to think about that as a Lutheran. And then all of our graduates, of course, need a keyboard proficiency. So everyone knows how to play the keyboard or the piano so that they can accompany hymns or songs in any style. So we're really proud that we're part of that. For those who aren't going to get a full DPM rostered in like a music major, we actually offer a 21-week online continuing education units certificate. It's not a certification, it's a certificate of completion of a online program. And what we do is we help people learn about what's distinct about Lutheran worship through 3 modules. So you learn about theology, learn about design and issues of design, and culture and how to think through those things. And we've had, I think, about 50 people go through that now. It's a mentored experience where you engage and you read things online, and then you get together once a week during the 21 weeks that it's active. The program's active throughout the year for conversations with your cohort. It's a really cool program, and we actually avoid the seasons of the church year that are really busy. That's so the 21 weeks, the gaps it's not all in a row. It's 7 weeks, and you have off, then 7 weeks, then off, and a final 7. And the gaps are there for when things get busy in the church year. So if that interests you, you can always find out more about that initiative at cui.edu/CWL, and you'll see a link there for the certificate.
Awesome.
All right. This one really excited about. I'm proud to share with you about how we've responded to recommendation number 6, which is to develop a Lutheran composers group to network those Lutheran composers who wish to exchange and make available to others materials which may be suitable for worship. This network would be a place where Lutheran composers could put their materials on the web for sharing, for critique, and for support. Kip, why don't you share a little bit about TSI?
Sure, Steve. Yeah, when I see develop a Lutheran composers group, I just substitute that with the Songwriter initiative, which is the initiative of songwriters in the LCMS that I am the director of. And in 2019, we started this. We wanted to find and connect and develop composers and songwriters within our Lutheran church who write and compose in a diverse range of styles. To get to know one another, to find camaraderie together, and to be developed, to learn how to write skillfully, intentionally, and with theological soundness and awareness. And so just super pleased to say at this point that we've got over 200 writers connected all over the country from LCMS churches. Not only are we connecting folks, but we're helping develop them and teaching them how to write in any style, to do that skillfully and with our Lutheran theology at the forefront. And not only have we really developed this network, which is recommendation number 6, but we've kind of gone even further, and we are developing resources through that community. So as of now, we've put out 46, I believe, new, unique songs for the church that match the needs of our Lutheran congregations, and we are continuing to roll with those every every Advent and every Lenten season and everything in between. And gosh, so not only are we connecting songwriters, but we are also resourcing our church with songs, and we've had an amazing response from churches all over the country. And so we're just trying to answer that call, and God has done some amazing things with the community and this network. And so I'm grateful for this recommendation and happy to be a part of carrying it out.
Yeah, Kip, thanks. It's so cool to see that. And I've got to just add, as someone who's been around this initiative, what an encouraging group of people. And the people that gather for these events and online are carried deeply for the church. They're like trying to do songs for the church,
Mm-hmm.
and they care about being Lutheran, and that's really cool. And they're just kind, sweet people. I really like being around. So that's really, really excited about that initiative at the Center for Worship Leadership, and I'm grateful to you, Kip, for all the work you do there. That's sort of us in a nutshell. All the things that we
Absolutely.
do, and like what's really driving us behind all these things is that the gospel is at the forefront of all that we do. That the
That's right.
gospel, the Lutheran confessions, contextual artistry, these things work together. I mean, they're not opposed to each other, but they're working together. And it's our privilege to stand as a center and to try to serve the congregations who are using contemporary worship resources, and to serve the synod who's asked for help in these areas. So we're just proud for the
Yeah.
work we get to do. Like, what I want to just maybe end with this is that all of our work is funded by supporters, people who want to partner with our ministry and our mission and help make it happen. And so if at all you're the kind of person who says, I've been affected by these ministries, I want to support these ministries, consider joining us with financial gifts. That is you can give through our website at cy.edu/CWL, and you'll see, I think at the top right, a give button.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just so grateful to all those who support us in this ministry, and it's our privilege to be here at the center, pulling all these things together. One thing I just want to add at the end here, Kip, is the fact that we're privileged to do all these different things and how each of them contributes to a larger whole is amazing. Like, wouldn't be as powerful without TSI. I apologize for the acronyms.
That's right.
And none of it would be powerful without Wally.
That's right.
Our summit and the gathering, and the fact that all these initiatives kind of come together, and that we have kind of get to work with all of them, has been a really powerful part of our ministry, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you want to come to a Wally event, if you are a songwriter composer and want to get connected with writers, if you just want to plan worship services well and see just a beautiful database of resources and Lutheran perspective on worship, if you want to further education with a certificate program, gosh, these are the initiatives that we are offering, and we want you to join us and tell your friends.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Lutheran Worship Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Great getting to know you, Steve.